What's up guys? Hi and welcome to Uncle Scott's Kitchen. In this video we are talking Debouille carbon steel cookware. We got two big things going on. The first is that in what has become kind of an almost annual tradition, we have an exclusive sale with Debouille. Just for us here at Uncle Scott's Kitchen, we get 20% off all carbon steel at Debouille. Early Black Friday sale is starting. I'll go through full details here in just a minute, how you can get the discount. And the second thing we're going to do is, if you are interested in that sale and getting a good piece of Debouille carbon steel, I'm going to give you some real world advice and talk about some of my pans, the ones I use more, and kind of get you started in the right direction. Now, what is going on with the sale? To get the sale, to get the discount, you've got to use the affiliate link, which is in the description of this video or somewhere below the video, and then you use code Uncle Scott at checkout and you will get 20% off your carbon steel at Debouille. This is the exclusive deal for us. We get early access to their sale, and this is the best price for their carbon steel for the Black Friday holiday shopping season. And that is very important because A, we're getting the best price of the season now, and B, everything is in stock. If you've followed these sales the last few years, some of the good stuff goes out of stock pretty quickly. If you see something you want on a good sale price and it's in stock, jump on it while it is still there. Okay, so let's jump into some real world recommendations and pointers and a little bit of carbon steel info to get people started, especially people who are perhaps not familiar with the channel or with carbon steel. Now, if you are new to carbon steel, what is so great about it? What is all the fuss about? For kind of the 30,000 foot overview, carbon steel is kind of sort of like a cousin to cast iron. If you see all these pans behind me, they are various shades of black, brown. Some of them are kind of blotchy, some are shiny, some are not. When carbon steel is new, it comes in shiny and silvery. And kind of sort of like cast iron, it needs to be seasoned. And the more you cook in your pan and the more you season it, eventually it might look something like this. It darkens in, it becomes more non-stick over time. And as compared to, for example, say a chemical coated non-stick skillet, some of those PFAS skillets, those non-sticks, they get a little worse every time you use them. And that non-stick coating, it eventually wears off and fails, and you have to throw the pan away. Carbon steel is kind of the opposite. It actually gets better the more you use it. The seasoning builds up, kind of like your grandmother's cast iron skillet, and it gets better and more non-stick the more you use it. Now, carbon steel is not perfect at everything. Again, kind of sort of like cast iron. You can't leave it wet. You can't run it through the dishwasher. You need to maintain your seasoning. And also, you don't want to cook acidic ingredients in it. So carbon steel would not be a great choice, for example, for slow simmering a tomato sauce. The acid would eat away at the seasoning. But for many other tasks, it is fantastic. Let me tell you a couple of ways I use carbon steel and where I think it really excels. The first is with eggs. You can get delicious non-stick sliding eggs in a carbon steel skillet. You do not have to use a chemical coated non-stick pan. Also, for your Sunday fried chicken, you can deep fry in these guys. And then one place I think carbon steel is the best is with high heat cooking. These pans are virtually indestructible. You can get these pans 500-600 degrees and sear the heck out of a steak, temperatures that would absolutely ruin a chemical coated non-stick pan. So carbon steel has a lot of advantages, has a lot going for it. What about Debouille in particular? Why do I like it so much? I'm going to give you 3 reasons. The first reason is build quality. These things are built like tanks, absolute workhorses. These are my first 2 pans. I've had these about 8 years now. Still get a lot of heavy use. This is my egg pan. I use it all the time when I cook eggs. Never had any problems with quality with any Debouillé piece of cookware. Second is you get that French heritage and design and look and feel. And I know this is a little subjective, but I think in a nice kitchen, we all like our fancy, nice kitchens. I spend a lot of time in my kitchen. I like good looking cookware, and I really think the Debouillés look right at home on a fancy cooktop. And third, the Debouillés crank out a ton of delicious food. These pieces you see behind me, I bought these with my own money. This is my real deal, real world cookware. This is not a paid advertisement. I only recommend to you guys things I would spend my own hard-earned money on, and I think you guys would enjoy them too. Okay, so what about some real world recommendations? If you are new to carbon steel and want to give it a try, not sure what to start with, or perhaps this time of year you are buying a gift for someone who likes to cook and don't know exactly what they like, my first recommendation here would be this guy. This is an 11-inch Debouillé Mineral B Pro carbon steel skillet. It's got a lot of advantages and a lot going for it. It works on gas, induction, and electric cooktops, so you don't have to worry there. It also has the cast stainless steel handle, which importantly is oven safe. So you could use the pan in your oven. And importantly, if you need to season the pan using your oven, you could do it with this cast stainless steel handle. It's also a good size. It's manageable. Once you get up to the next size up, this is a 12.5 inch. You note that the pans start to have helper handles. And they are thick, sturdy, built like tank pans. And once you get to that size, you do need that helper handle. But this size here, still very manageable, and it's thick and heavy enough and has enough thermal mass where you could sear a nice ribeye steak in one of these guys. It's big enough for that. It's also not so big that you couldn't do a couple of eggs or an omelet in it either. Very versatile, very safe choice, and a good candidate for a good jack of all trades pan. So once you got that jack of all trades pan, then you can start looking at some specialty pans. Let me show you some of my favorite pans and the ones we use the most around here. The first is this guy here. This was my first Debouillé pan. This is the 9.5 inch Classic Series Omelette Pan. Still my favorite pan in the entire world. I've done over 400 cookware videos on YouTube. Still my favorite pan. Now what makes it an omelette pan? This is a regular series pan, and I think they call this a Lyonnaise shape, and it has a little bit more of a defined angle where the sidewall hits the cooking surface. The omelette pan is curved, and that helps with a couple of things. First is when you're sliding eggs out onto a piece of toast, for example, that curved shape helps there. Also, if you do French omelets and make your omelet and you turn the pan up and slide it over to one side of the pan to let it set up, you get a little bit better shape with that curved surface there, not quite as much of an angle. And then for turning the omelet out onto a plate, the curved surface really helps there. That is probably my most used pan. And just thinking back, I've had it about 8 years. And if I cook eggs twice a week in that pan for 8 years, that's 800 to 1,000 times I've used that guy, and it's still going strong. And if you get really ambitious and want to learn some French omelets, they also make the omelet pan in a Pro model. This is the 11-inch Pro omelet pan, and you can work on making real deal French omelets. Next specialty pan that we use a ton around here is the Crepe Pan. I think this is the 11-inch Crepe Pan. You notice it has shallower sides, shorter sides, and a wide cooking surface. When my little son was young, he had an egg allergy, and one way we introduced eggs into his diet was to make crepes. And it kind of caught on around here, and we use that Crepe Pan twice a week or so. My son loves crepes, and we eat them all the time. That pan is also good for flatbreads, if you do piadine, or tortillas, or quesadillas. Those work really well on that Crepe Pan. If you really want to use carbon steel in your oven, You might think about the oval roaster, or what they call the paella pan, which is, in my opinion, not really a traditional paella pan. It is the same pan body as the 12.5-inch Mineral B Pro and Classic, just with 2 loop handles. And this fits in an oven a lot better than the frying pans do. The other thing these sales are good for is in fleshing out your lineup. If you have any holes, you can add different pans, different sizes for different tasks. For example, this is a 10.25 inch. This is a 14-inch. You can cook 1 steak in this one. You can get 2 big steaks in this one. Okay, now I have done reviews and feature videos on most of these pans you see behind me, and I will link those up below. And check those out if you want to see some real world cooking done in these guys and see exactly how they perform. Now, if you are interested in why we get the deal here at Uncle Scott's Kitchen and other people don't, why are we kind of a most favored nation when it comes to DeBouillet, I am their first ever affiliate partner. I started doing coverage of DeBouillet carbon steel in 2019 or so, and most people had never even heard of DeBouillet, and I may have been the only one doing any videos on the Mineral Bs. And I got in touch with them and, you know, kind of introduced myself and said, I love your pans. And I asked if they had an affiliate program. And they said, no, we don't, but we're thinking about starting one. And would you like to be the guinea pig? Would you like to be the test subject? And I said, heck yeah, I would. I would love to do that. And I've been working with them ever since, and I probably do more DeBouillet features and videos than anyone else. And I think the hardcore DeBouillet carbon steel fans, they tend to hang out at Uncle Scott's Kitchen. So it's a very targeted target market, and I think they appreciate some of the stuff we do. And I know I definitely appreciate them. And I just got to say, I grew up on a farm in Alabama, and getting to work with a real deal French cookware company. I know some of my videos appear on their website, and they've got like Michelin starred chefs up there, and I see myself up there, and it's a lot of pressure. So I try to do a good job, and I'm very appreciative and thankful to DeBouillet for having me as an affiliate partner and running this sale. And I think this is the 3rd or 4th year in a row where we're getting the exclusive sale. So very happy about that. Okay, that should be enough to get you started. Remember, when you get your carbon steel, we have step-by-step, simple, clear instructions on how to get your pan seasoned and up and cooking. We will get you sliding eggs in no time. Also, remember, I've got a series called Learning to Cook with Carbon Steel, where I walk you through step-by-step some easy recipes to get you started on your carbon steel journey. As always, thank you to DeBouillet for thinking of us and keeping us in mind with this exclusive sale. Remember to click the affiliate link in the description or below the video and use code Uncle Scott at checkout for 20% off your carbon steel. Thank you for watching. We'll see you again next time on Uncle Scott's Kitchen.